Well, it's time to spring clean your medicine cabinet. Stay tuned for some reminders to help make that happen. We've heard from our listeners that it can be a bit difficult to leave a rating and review for our podcast in iTunes. So here's a painless way to do it.
Go to pleasereviewmypodcast.com/divas for an easy step-by-step tutorial to follow. That's www.pleasereviewmypodcast.com/divas.
Reviewing and rating our podcast in iTunes helps us in so many ways, and more importantly, we get your feedback on what you like about the podcast.
Thanks for being a listener and subscriber and going to pleasereviewmypodcast.com/divas.
Okay, it's springtime. Actually, and you can do it in the fall as well, Leslie, but you need to check out your medicine cabinet and get rid of all those prescriptions that have expired, or even that aren't necessarily prescriptions, but
just all that over-the-counter stuff. It's
Exactly.
amazing how much stuff you accumulate. I don't know. In our house, it seems like every time somebody gets sick, they go out and buy a new whatever without checking to see what we already have.
Yeah, so you've got
in the
42
5-day quills.
Exactly. Well, as we know, companies are required to put expiration dates on medications, but you don't necessarily have to, some of them you can keep a little bit longer. Mostly, I would say those are the tablets and things, because they're not liquids. Liquids, if they've expired or they have a funny color to them or anything, absolutely get rid of them. But the key is, okay, how do you get rid of this stuff? Well, in the spring, and then I know in the fall again, there's a National Prescription Take-Back Day. And actually, I know TV stations do them. I know Kroger does them. Check with your pharmacy. But don't flush them down the toilet, because that actually can get into the water supply. Yep. So, I know a lot of people said, oh, yeah, I just flushed mine down the toilet. Well,
yeah,
that's
not supposed to do that.
No, you're not supposed to do that. And actually, if you probably flushed a lot of them down the toilet, you could stop up your plumbing.
Yes.
So that's another reason why not to do it. So check things out, because that'll really help to alleviate the stuff in your home that you don't need, that's expired, that really may not help you.
Yeah. And then when you're doing that, you want to make sure there are some basic things that you should have in your medicine cabinet. So it's a good time to stock up on your basics to make sure that you have acetaminophen or ibuprofen for fever and pain. We always keep some Benadryl in case somebody has an allergic reaction. It's good to have that on hand. Antibiotic ointment for wounds, cuts. You want to have a decongestant, a cough syrup, antacids. We always have those stashed away. And then your basics, bandages, cotton balls, rubbing alcohol. So it's a good time to just stock up on those. Make sure you have, like, Band-Aids. I always check the sizes of those, because, you get a little paper cut and you go in and all you have is like the 3x3
Exactly.
giant wound bandage.
I am with you on that
wrap
one.
around your finger.
Totally with you on that. Well, and the other thing is, speaking of like Band-Aids and things, is put together in, like, I have a little cosmetic bag that, I have my cosmetics in, but it's the same thing. I always put a couple of because if you're traveling, you don't want to buy a big box of anything.
2 or 3 different
so you could have Band-Aids, you could have some, aspirin or Advil, maybe some Neosporin, some things like that are always good to have too in your travel bag.
And then the other thing, and I'm guilty of this, is your medicine cabinet should not necessarily be in your bathroom, which is where most people have theirs. The warmth and the moisture that is in your bathroom will cause medications to degrade faster. So the better place to put it is a cool, dry environment like your kitchen cabinet, away from a heat source, maybe in a hallway closet away from the bathroom. So think about moving your medicine cabinet. Of course, you want to make sure that it is, up high, and if you have children or pets, you want to make sure it's behind a door, it's up high, and you have child locks if you need to, so nobody can get to it. But yeah, the bathroom is not the best place to keep it.
Well, and I've heard some people also buy one of those little refrigerators, little tiny ones, and then they'll just put those, somewhere and just store all of their medicines in there, because, some medicine actually has to be kept cold.
Right. If you're insulin or an EpiPen, even things like fish oil should be kept refrigerated.
In our case, I have that little refrigerator in my office that I keep juice in. I do keep my vitamins in there, because I get up and take my juice, my vitamins, bottled water, and currently it has 3 bottles of wine chilling.
Well, it's everything you need. That is a well-stocked medicine cabinet.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to the Dollar Saving Divas. If you have ideas for an upcoming episode, we'd love to hear from you. Just head to our Facebook page at facebook.com/DollarSavingDivasCBus and share your comments. Our podcast is available on iTunes, iHeartMedia, or your favorite podcast player. Thanks again for listening.
Circle270media.com.